At this point in your life now, I'm curious, what do you find to be the most important thing that you strive for in your life? And I'm sure it could be different than maybe, 10 years ago. Like what difference do you see in your life and what do you define? It's almost like the question of like, what do you define success like in your life right now?
Hard question. For me, being able to tell the stories that I want, it's really amazing. Like maybe there's some I don't know, winery owners or restaurant owner, and I talk about wine and restaurant because it's my main focus now, food, and they maybe are incredible people. They spend a lot of money. They don't charge enough. They do an insane work, and of course they can't pay $10,000 to shoot a video. So being able to maybe help them out and telling their story and share it, for me, it's amazing. It's something I do, okay, not every week, but maybe once or twice a year. I try to find the reality that I like and to help them out and create some cool content for them. I think it's great.
Mm.
It helps them out a little bit.
Something that I admire, I think, about you in particular is your use of additional resources, your YouTube channel, Buttery Lutz, your business, to be able to create additional sources of revenue or just things to uh, create something for yourself and have a business for yourself. Has business in general always been something that you've thought of, something that you uh, grew up wanting to have a business, or is this something that you kind of fell into, or you fell into the need of having something else?
Ma- Where I understood that I wanted to do something a little bit different was like when I was at university, and
Mm.
I had to go to work to maintaining a little bit to bring something in, and I went to work in a call center selling gas,
Mm.
electricity, this kind of stuff. And I did it a month, and that was for me seeing. And I mean, I'm not lacking respect for these people because we need people like this that do this kind of work. But for me, seeing these guys at 50, 55, working 8, 9 hours a day, there since 20 years, going out, smoking a cigarette, cough, and that's their life every day. There it was made me think like not gonna happen.
Mm.
Like, I said like, fuck it, no, no way, I'm gonna do this. Then of course I didn't know what to do, and then filmmaking came in, and I wanted to go to America. I mean, even what we did to go in America, maybe people don't know it's insanely hard.
Mm.
I had to go to Dublin first because they refused the first investor visa that I did there. So a lot of money spent in a company, open a business, visa denied, then go to Ireland, they hire you, visa, $8,000 lawyer, wait for a year, pray that they're gonna accept you. There's so much going to this that when I think about it, I'm like, when people ask me what, I mean, now it's kind of the opposite. I seem like American. I want to move to Europe, to be honest. But because clearly inflation, and after COVID, I think like even Europeans that were living in the US, they're like realized that they were leaving for work. I
Mm.
think people now have a little bit better work-life balance. But business-wise, I mean, if I was only relying, and this can go both way, because I can tell you, if I was only relying on videos, I would be unemployed, like no jobs or anything. But you can also tell me, yes, but if you didn't have the battery lots and the course, whatever, maybe you were going knocking doors and look for work a little bit more, because battery lots is a business and it's not passive income, it's totally active income.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we did really good 2019, 2021, 2022. Now we're, following maybe a little bit the inflation, the economy, the market saturation also for cameras, because if manufacturers don't sell cameras, we don't sell lots.
Mm.
But it became a business. So you use YouTube, you do marketing, you do all this kind of stuff. So it's a full time business for me. I don't want to hire people, so I just manage it by myself. So, but if it wasn't for this, and I needed the money, and I needed to just shoot video, maybe I will go, and maybe I would have way more opportunity in terms of shooting video. So it's something that I think a lot about it, and I'm like, well, maybe if you're obliged to. if you have to make money and you can only shoot video, you're gonna knock the door of this barbershop down here and shoot a commercial, and maybe you meet this guy that brings you to another big film or big commercial. So, but hey, I mean, this is how it went. 2019, we
Hmm.
started at Battery Lots. It kind of went very well. I think we had a good product, and we
I
keep
have your LUTs,
going.
by the way.
Thank you. And it's just such a simple product, but we made it, with this big D18 in LA. So we made it with all the
Mhm.
tool, and it's a great product, and people love it, and people talk about it, and YouTube and everything. And so, yeah, it was a good business. I mean, it is a good business. At the end of the day, people click on a button, you get the money, they get a link while you're sleeping. Um, I think it's crazy not even thinking about diversifying right now.
Mm.
Many people I met here, they were maybe photographer, maybe musician. Now they make olive oil. Another one make an amaro. I mean, new stuff. Even for me, now that I have to admit, business is a little bit slow video wise because I don't think I ever seen a year like this in my entire life, and I'm pretty sure I, I I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. I want to believe I'm not
Uh,
the only
to add in, myself included, this is probably my worst year yet so
worst year
far.
ever. Worst year ever.
Yes.
But the thing is, that it's not even about work. I'm not sending out quotes, which is something I
Mm.
was doing at least every month.
Wow.
At least one quote a month was going out. And
Mm.
there were people reaching out, and zero. Radio silence. 2023 was low, but 2024 was like, I don't know. I don't know. In fact, I'm thinking about diversifying with maybe getting a house in Piedmont, also maybe running a B&B or something like that, because
Mm.
you never know. Like video work, I mean, without being over pessimistic or over optimistic, but people really need to ask some questions because we don't know if we're gonna ever even shoot videos like at least not like we used to do.
Right.
Maybe for the
I
attention,
definitely I
maybe
definitely
for
noticed that there's like a trend of like there's super high end stuff and then
yeah.
there's the kind of lower ish ground. The middle ground is seemed to almost dissipating a little
That's
bit.
and that's my problem because that was
Hmm.
my
That
bread
was
and
that
butter.
was your thing. Exactly.
Yeah, I was working for agency, like even agency that was working with American wine importers that were sending me in Europe to winery to shoot the video. So the American importer was paying. Wine is
Mm.
crazy. It's 30-40%. So maybe they don't import enough, they're not gonna shoot video. Those were like super easy money. It was like American budget, shooting in Europe. It was great. And gone. And it's crazy. But so yeah, I'm it's definitely a strange year.
Mm. Yeah, no, I
Like,
completely agree. And I also feel for myself is I have been trying to diversify, and I think I have over the past couple of years. Like besides DPing, which is my primary source of income, I also do YouTube. I
yeah,
do this podcast, which doesn't generate money all the time, but
yeah,
it's me trying to grow a business. It's me
yeah.
trying to do something otherwise, and I think that is something that also doesn't get talked about a lot too. Is like if you're people talk about starting a side business or a side hustle, and they immediately think of how can I make money immediately. Where I think it's really important to think about how can you just create something for yourself? How can you start to grow something like that? That to me is something that I find really important, especially with this podcast. Like it doesn't generate enough for me to live, but I'm building something right now for the future.
Super important. Super important. Even in my course, the first thing I said is like audience. You can make the most beautiful film in the world. If you don't have an audience, it's not gonna work.
Hmm.
Maybe with your podcast, you're building an audience, you're building at least someone that is going to watch whatever you make, or eventually that maybe is going to like, okay, I like this guy, I like how he works. Let's see what he's doing. Let's see, I don't know, you're going to create a class or a mascot, whatever.